Happy Founder Friday, everyone. This is a special message of me thanking all of you out there for all your support. Just hit a milestone, 10,000 subscribers on this channel. I never thought it would happen. In fact, I was sweating it just to get to 1,000 subscribers and get monetized in terms of 4,000 watch hours. And boy, did I ever find that a to-do. But here we are, 10,000 subscribers. It's gone by so fast. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank all of you out there. And I want to share a little bit about my thoughts of where we're going to go from here. As you may or may not know, I always introduce myself as a 7-time funded founder with 2 exits. And I'm self-deprecating, saying that it's a fancy way of saying I failed a bunch of times. And it's really the truth. I try and be open and transparent with you as much as possible because I've lost more money for investors than I've ever made money for investors. But that's just how startups go. And I find myself in a stage in my life where I'm just, in fact, a better advisor than I am a founder. And that's the reason I want to invest in all of you out there. And I do this channel. But you can take the founder out of the startup. You can't take the startup out of the founder. And so I'm always driven by a sense of wanting to go unicorn. But instead of a unicorn with a U, Y-O unicorn, that's my jam. That's what I want to do. But it's always about world domination, getting traction going, and eventually scaling to the point where you're ubiquitous and you're a unicorn, Y-O unicorn, but you've got so much reach out there and that you're making a mark. There's a legacy. You're changing the world. That's still in me, and I can't change that, and I know many of you feel the same way. And so my vision is to build the largest startup community in the world, not with the top 1% of founders that are going to go to Y Combinator or get funded by VCs like A16Z or Sequoia. I'm not talking about those founders, and I'm not throwing them under the bus either. That is a very special group that inspire the rest of us. And if you are one of those and you go on to be in that top 1% unicorn founder as far as a $100 million company and you sell for $1 billion, more power to you. Don't forget the rest of us. Come back to share, which I always ask. But for me, I'm all about the salt of the earth founder, the underserved, underestimated, and underrepresented founder, the ones that are going to go build the $1 million businesses, $10 million, $20 million, that aren't going to be VC Silicon Valley heroes that we read about in TechCrunch or get bought by Google or another company for billions of dollars in stock or cash. I'm talking about those of us that are doing things, solving problems out there, and we're developing just a wonderful lifestyle and an overall ecosystem for the rest of us when it comes to startups. I said this to an investor the other day. I said, instead of building one company to $100 million, I'd rather help 100 companies make $1 million each and then cluster them together and become a community. And that's what I'm talking about here in terms of the size, the breadth, the scope, the depth of community that I want to see. That's what I have a vision for, and I plan to dedicate the rest of my life to it. A few years ago, I read the book, The Startup Community Way by Brad Feld, and I was inspired because in that book, there was a challenge on whether or not you would commit 10 years as an experienced founder to go back into the startup ecosystem and help build the startup ecosystem for everybody else, not just for your own gain. And to me, that was a noble, altruistic call to action that I really embraced. And I said, I want to help all startups, all communities, not just my startup or my portfolio of investments, which I still do. And it's all part of it for all of us to learn together. And that's why I started doing pitch deck reviews for pre-seed founders. Anybody sent me a pitch deck, in the beginning, I would just do a review and I said, let's get it out there and let's learn together. And that's the same philosophy that I want to stay true to as we grow from 10,000 to 100,000 subscribers. And I'm saying as we grow together, because I can't do it in a bubble by myself, I need all of you out there. This is a team sport. It's not like golf or singles tennis. It's like football. There's a team sport. There's offense. There's defense. There's special teams. There are special teams coaches and quarterback coaches. There's defensive coordinators, offense coordinators. I happen to be a big football fan, so I know what I'm talking about here in how many people have to be involved all the way from the top down, from ownership, general managers, to the coaches, to all the players. That's what we need to be all about here on this channel. And I've roped in startups.com to participate with me. That community has been great. And if you're part of that community, thank you so much. If not, stay till the end of the video. I have a special offer for you. But just talking about this is getting me so hyped and pumped because I think about all the founders that I've met through this YouTube channel, through working at startups.com, through LinkedIn, all the other social media platforms, live, in person. I'm going to do a workshop about CFXO and raising funds locally in Calgary. I don't get to do a lot in terms of the local ecosystem. Frankly, they don't invite me enough. I'd love to help. But at the same time, I want to service all the international founders and the founders that are in those communities that aren't aren't in Silicon Valley or Silicon Alley, maybe you're not in Boston or one of these major hubs, we help founders everywhere. And I met so many great founders in small cities doing amazing things. They are maybe living small because of where they are, but they're thinking big and they're acting big and they're raising funds and they're making noise out there in the startup ecosystem and showing that we can make a difference no matter where you are. And that's the beauty of YouTube and the YouTube algorithm. Never before have we had this opportunity to be on a platform like this where I can put out a message and it will get delivered to people who need to hear it if it's of valuable information and you're all supporting it. You're liking, you're commenting, you're sharing. That just throttles the algorithm that much more. A little bit of plug, help me out because it helps us all out together. So here's a message to my future self and the future all of you out there who'll be around when we hit 100,000 subscribers. Stay humble. Remember where you came from. Don't forget the hard things that got us here, and make sure that we're always being inclusive of everybody, and we never get so elitist with the startup ecosystem that we are helping the 99% of founders that are making the economy go. The small business people who are going to think like founders, incorporate innovation, as well as the larger founders that are hiring other people, giving other people an opportunity. Maybe you're a founder, you make your money, you come back and you become an angel investor, and we do that together. I've got so many plans and I'm excited with all the messages that I want to share with you. Don't get me wrong, it hasn't been easy. It's not all sunshine and rainbows over here. Doing YouTube is a day in, day out grind. Sometimes I get into online arguments and I get into fights because I have a complicated relationship with platforms like Reddit. But every time a founder tells me what they've done and they're reminding me that I'm all about giving out as much value for free as I can, better than what you'd get if you paid for it out there, special offer coming, it gives me new energy and it helps me experience what I talk about here, joy effects, where groups of people come together and we're glad to be in the same community, contributing value in our strength, but especially weakness. And the fact that I'm able to come here and share transparently some of the tough times that I'm going through, and I get supportive comments. And I know many of you, I'm not going to be able to meet in person. I hope I meet as many of you as possible in person in different ways. And I've got plans to go on tour and go to different cities and invite you all to meetups. That's coming. But I'm reminded about joy effects, and that just helps me with the emotional capacity, the motivation, the drive to keep going forward. Now, if you spend some time on this channel, you know I can get blunt, black and white. I can get pretty cranky, and I always want to just give you the truth that hurts so good. But this is a time that I want to celebrate the wins. 10,000 isn't a lot of subscribers. In fact, it's pretty much a vanity metric. And truthfully, more than 60% of my viewership is not subscribed. But that's okay, because the message is getting out there. And I always want to be upbeat, positive, and I want to have these moments where we're sharing and we're celebrating together and saying, we did it. Yes, I'm the most obnoxious person because I'm the talking head here, but a lot of you have been vocal, and there are a lot of the members on startups.com that are constantly giving me feedback and helping me refine and getting better. I want that to continue all the way to 100,000 subscribers, and who knows, maybe we can reach 1 million subscribers. But think about the network effects that we are achieving. The more people that participate together, the better our community becomes. The more people that contribute at startups.com, we are founders helping other founders, the better the product becomes. And that's how we begin to exponentially scale out to give everybody the help they need, because it can't fall on my shoulders. I need and want founders who share the same heart and vision as me to join us and say, let's build this community together and let's celebrate, because I want to be able to fade in the background and shine the spotlight on so many of the rest of you, because you are the next Eds, you are the next YouTubers, you are the next creators and the influencers for the startup community, and we all have to work together, make each other better, because everybody gains together. Just think about it. Imagine we're in the community and you launch a product and you can immediately go to some other subscribers or another part of the community, or I can introduce you to them and say, hey, beta test this product. Let's help each other out. Think of the crowdfunding that we could do together, or think of the critical mass that we could create to attract investors, to get attention from the other people that we need the spotlight to shine on us so that they can give us the benefit of that attention and somehow help us in all the different ways that we need, because startups are hard and we need all the help that we can get. So if you are interested in coming and helping me build community, the largest startup community, starting on YouTube and spreading out to places like startups.com, let me know what you're building and how you want to help, and I will give you a 14-day free trial to come check us out. But then we'll have a conversation on how you're going to contribute, and we'll find other ways to make it work for you financially, where you can benefit. Maybe you're a coach or a service provider, or you're an advisor just waiting for that opportunity. I want to help you out as well and open up the ecosystem, create a platform for your success as well. Or maybe you're just a founder that needs to be surrounded by positivity. And if you only spend 14 days with me, that's going to be enough to get you on the next leg of your journey. Whatever happens, I'm not asking you to stay past the 2 weeks. I'm asking you to get as much value from me as possible so you can say, I'm glad I follow Ed on his YouTube channel. I'm glad I know him. I know of him. I've been able to interact, and maybe we get to know each other. I met so many friends, and you're a better founder because of it. And I know we've had a righteous value exchange where I've invested in you the best that I possibly can. So there are no obligations and nothing to lose past the 14-day trial. Ask some of the other trial members that have come in. I've done specialized workshops. I've done Q&As. I've opened everything up with nothing expected in return other than you become a better founder. You get a 10x return and you multiply that value. You're relentlessly resourceful in terms of what you're going to receive, because I know if you don't give it back here, you're going to pay it forward somewhere else. And to me, that's good enough. That's what we're talking about, legacy. Remember that movie, Gladiator and Maximus? I'm dating myself, might be before your time, but in the beginning, he's with his soldiers, he's with the army, and he says, what we do here, what we do right now echoes an eternity. And I remember sitting and watching that movie and going, this is the greatest movie ever. I was so inspired. I want to get up. I want to cheer. In fact, the whole theater was chanting, Maximus, Maximus. By the end of the movie, it was a great experience. It's the same energy, the same buzz, the same determination and grit that I want us to have being visionaries together here on this channel. And you might be thinking you're just another talking head on YouTube, and if you're cynical like that, no problem. Stick around. I hope to prove you wrong. But if you've been with me at the beginning, and many of you have been right when I've hit 1,000 subscribers and you started paying attention, you are the ones that are going to be celebrating that much more once we hit that next milestone. So stick around. Thank you so much. Leave your comment. Let me know what you think down below. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your support. I'll see you in the next video.